to have people be able to visit their family in nursing home.
Visiting loved ones. For the first time in a long time, we'll be able to do that at nursing homes. We'll tell you when and how it will work. Plus, the latest numbers on Ohio and the coronavirus fight. We'll tell you how the Buckeye State is doing against COVID-19.
Returning to school, the American Academy of Pediatrics is laying out their guidelines to get kids back in the classroom. A local doctor weighs in. And pet anxiety, they are getting anxious with humans returning to work. Recommendations to keep them from acting out due to the stress of being alone again.
4th of July safety. We'll tell you how to keep your friends and family safe at a small get-together next weekend.
And should Hulu have removed an episode of Golden Girls from its platform? It's a hot topic of discussion, and you can weigh in online. What's New starts now.
And now, live from WKYC Studios, this is What's New.
Happy Monday, everybody. Back in the house once again with What's New, and thank you so much for joining us. Short week this week, thankfully. J-Pop, you met your granddaughter.
Wow.
Big weekend.
I did. I'm forever changed, Betsy. I am forever changed. I knew the moment would be incredible.
And it was.
It exceeded my craziest expectations.
Yay.
It really was something.
That's awesome.
It was a great deal of fun. Betsy, happy Monday afternoon to you and to you as well at home. We begin this 5 with the latest coronavirus numbers. And for the 4th straight day, the number of new cases reported in Ohio has gone down. The state announcing there have been 737 new cases within the last 24-hour reporting window, down just 8 cases from yesterday. But still notable, the number is still higher than our 21-day average. We're going to dive deeper into these key numbers. We have a lot of them for you. We'll do that in just a few minutes. But first, Tiffany Tarpley joins us with some big news, Bets.
Yeah, Tiffany, Governor Mike Dewine made an announcement about nursing homes this afternoon, something a lot of people have been waiting on.
Betsy and Jay, so many people have really been ready to see their loved ones again. Today, Governor Mike DeWine announced that nursing homes can start outdoor visitation on July 20th. But of course, safety standards must be met. What that means is nursing homes have to consider the number of cases in the community and in the home itself. They also have to have adequate testing for residents and staff, and they must have personal protective equipment like masks.
My job as governor is to do everything I can to protect the most vulnerable among us. Part of that job means putting measures in place to keep people safe from the virus. It also, though, means protecting those things that add value to life. And visits by family members to nursing homes, to their loved ones, is certainly something that adds value to life. And I know that
And so the governor says by choosing July 20th for outdoor visits to start, the nursing homes will have time to get ready. The governor also said today he will update plans for reopening schools on Thursday, along with what he called next phase plans to keep everyone healthy in their daily lives as the coronavirus stays with us. Betsy, you know, I drove past a nursing home in Avon over the weekend, and you saw people driving up, getting out, going up to the window. I can only imagine what it's going to be like when they get to see each other 6 feet apart, but still more so face to face.
You can see so much more when you're in person with somebody and get an idea of their coloring and their mannerisms and how they're doing. So it's a really important part of communication that we've been missing. Thank you, Tiffany.
Clearly, this fight not over yet. That's clear from the COVID-19 spikes in Florida, Texas, as well as California and Washington. We've even seen the numbers spike here in Ohio as well, with new cases, as I said, rising in the last couple of weeks. So what is our takeaway? 3 News investigator Rachel Polanski crunching numbers for us all day long today to tell us what we can learn by looking at this numbers, where we are, where we're headed. Hi, Rachel.
Hey, Jay, you know, we've seen these numbers going in all directions since we've slowly reopened and gotten back to work, back to play, back to life, really. On Friday, there was a reported 987 cases. Now, that was triple what was reported just 3 weeks ago. While cases are rising, hospitals are holding steady, especially in the most severe cases. In the past 12 days, hospitals have seen a 24% spike from 530 patients to 661. It's the first increase in 2 months. However, ICU placements are down 16%, from 217 to 182. And ventilator use is down 33%, from 152 to 101. Deaths also continue to trend downward. Since peaking in late April with over 300 deaths in one 7-day span, deaths have slowly dropped to less than 200 every week in June. Infectious disease expert Dr. Thomas Feil has studied the pandemic for Summa Health and at the Northeast Ohio Medical University. He thinks we've reached COVID fatigue and put our guard down.
I think it's because we've seen a lot of the public not compliant with a lot of these health measures, such as physical distancing and the wearing of masks.
While a majority of new cases has been younger people, it is clear that the most at risk are the elderly. In fact, Jay, the median age of a COVID-19 patient death is 81.
All right, Rachel, thanks. We've mentioned that the elderly are more at risk, and that's something that we've seen more and more. But the current breakdown between age and COVID deaths is interesting because when you look at those numbers, clearly the younger people tend to have a much higher survival rate. All right, let's take a look now at how you can stay up to date with the latest information on the COVID-19 virus. All you have to do is text 216-344-3300. And you text the word facts to that number and you will get automatic updates from 3 News. Betsy?
Well, as Tiffany just mentioned, the next big thing as far as coronavirus decisions go, what's up with school next year? As we wait for Governor DeWine to release his guidelines on reopening schools, the American Academy of Pediatrics released their guidelines. Our Romney Smith is on this story today, and Romney, no school district has their plan fully figured out. Parents are waiting very patiently to try and find out what's going on, but we know it won't look the same, right? I mean, that's just kind of the fact of the matter.
Absolutely. No school system knows exactly what they're going to look like in the fall, but we know that everything will be different this fall compared to past years. The American Academy of Pediatrics released a lot of recommendations today, and we have some of the big ones for you. So first up, they highly recommend in-person school because kids learn best in physically settings that they're there for. Also, 3 feet of spacing opposed to 6. 6 is recommended, but if they can't do it, 3 is good to make sure that classroom sizes aren't significantly reduced. Also wearing face masks. And they recommend schools all have a rapid response plan just in case there's a second wave and every kid has to go back home. The biggest thing is that they want kids to be safe but also learn, and they note that kids are going to be making stuff up from what they forgot over the summer.
So summer losses are huge. So now we have these kids who've been out 3 months, and they're going to be out over the summer, and now they're going to come back, and we're going to have to get them caught up. We have to help families with what do you need to be able to make sure that your child has what they need. So I think that the Academy's report is right on target.
Well, Romney, there are so many things to take into consideration with this. What other topics did the American Academy of Pediatrics touch on? Oh, we lost Romney. I'm sorry. Romney's signal just went down. Well, Jay, I guess we're going to toss it over to you. Sorry.
That's okay. It happens. Live TV. We now have details on how you can visit Cedar Point. I know many of you were very excited when that news broke this morning. We told you a few weeks back you're going to need to make reservations. Now we know how that process is going to work. Here it is. First, the Reservation Portal opened this morning. Season pass holders can now reserve spots on July 9th and 10th only, and resort guests can gain park admittance beginning July 11th. Still no news yet on when single-day reservations will be available, that meaning those that don't have season passes. If you are a season pass holder, before you put your reservation in, you're going to make sure that you have your pass number ready to go. You're going to need that. Select the number of reservations you want, and keep this in mind. You can go up to 14 on the reservation list, but you're going to need 14 people that have those passes, and those passes are not transferable. In other words, if dad decides at the last minute he can't go and you just slide mom in for his spot in the reservation, it doesn't work that way. These reservations are not transferable. The park will be open from 11 until 8 each day. And remember, while you are there, you will need to wear a mask. I think, Betsy, and I think we talked a little bit about this last week, most of us, because we've done polls, most of us are still not sure we want to go into something that's that big, that many people in that small a space.
Well, I think the interesting part, too, is remember, people may be required to wear a mask, but are they going to enforce properly wearing the mask? Because I see people wearing the mask like this, or I see them wear it on their chin. and then the person wipes their nose or they sneeze, and then they touch the rails.
You know, you'll be eating at the park. You're not going to have a mask on when you're eating. So I guess we've heard about the studies. One after another shows that the masks clearly give you protection.
They do.
Does it give you absolute protection? No, I don't think anything really can, other than a complete and total isolation. I'm surprised that there will be a demand for reservations.
Oh, I'm not surprised at all.
Really?
No way. Have you seen the pictures that came out of Put-in Bay over the weekend? There were people packed in there.
I know.
Like little sausages in the pool. I mean, it was crazy. So,
we were at Cali's 2 weeks ago. We didn't see masks.
Yeah, so a few weeks from now, we'll have to keep an eye on those numbers and see what's happening. I mean, the spread continues, and there's just some people that may not play the game the way that others do.
Well, the good news is if they go, they have to wear a mask, to Cedar Point, at least.
Right.
So that's good news.
Yeah. All right, well, now it's time to get a check on more of today's headlines. Russ Mitchell's over at the big desk. Give us a little bit more of an update on some of the news happening today. Hi there, Russ.
Betsy and Jay, it's good to see you.
Hi, Russ.
both.
Good to see you
Happy Monday
again.
to both of you. Here's what's happening. A major decision today from the Supreme Court on abortion. In a 5-4 vote, the court ruled that a Louisiana law requiring doctors who perform abortions to have admitting privileges at nearby hospitals violates the constitutional right to an abortion. Chief Justice John Roberts voted with a liberal majority on this one. A full wrap-up on NBC Nightly News tonight. Also, Iran has put out an arrest warrant for President Trump. The Prosecutor General of Tehran says arrest warrants have been ordered for 36 involved or who cooperated in the January killing of Iraqi commander Qasem Soleimani. The U.S. State Department calls that warrant a political stunt. And switching directions, big time here, the NFL has punished the New England Patriots for unauthorized filming of the field and sideline during the Browns-Bengals game last December. Remember that? That penalty, a $1.1 million fine, and the loss of a third-round draft pick. Let's all give a collective boo-hoo for the New England Patriots. What do you say?
Cry me a river. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Russ.
Jay is quote bald as
Yeah, no doubt. Thank you so much.
Sure.
This isn't the first time they've been caught cheating, just saying.
So true.
Straight ahead on what's new, Hulu is stirring up controversy. It pulled a Golden Girls episode from its platform. We'll tell you why. And then we're going to tell you why some people believe they're overcorrecting the problem.
And Costco fans, they're ditching one of their popular desserts. I had to read that twice.
You're a big Costco
I
fan.
love Costco, and I love their little concession stand in there. Stephanie is going to break it all down for us coming up in Clicking in Cleveland.
I hope they keep it or bring it back for Betsy's sake. Hey, Matt, how's the weather looking?
Hi, Jay. Happy Monday to you. It's gorgeous across Northeast Ohio. And what we have right now is what we're going to stick with over the next couple days. But we do have the return of some heat. And we've got your 4th of July weekend forecast all coming up.
Welcome back to What's New. Betsy, who would have thought that the cancel culture would come for the Golden Girls? Well, it has. Hulu has pulled an episode of the Golden Girls where Dorothy's son marries a much older black woman named Lorraine. The controversial scene, however, comes when Rose and Blanche try out mud masks and meet Lorraine's family for the first time.
We want to know what you think about Hulu's decision to pull the episode. You can weigh in at WKYC.com/vote now. And while you vote, Tiffany Tarpley is back with more and to explain this controversy. Hi, Tiff.
Yeah, a lot to get to here, Jay and Betsy. Hulu's decision to pull the episode stems from other distributors, of course, pulling scenes where characters were in blackface. But in this episode, the two were wearing mud masks. Watch it now.
You must be Michael's parents. Mama, put your glasses on. Oh, my Lord.
This is mud on our faces. We're not really black.
Now, I personally remember that episode, right? Didn't even need to go back and watch it. However, many are calling this an overcorrection. So writer Roxanne Gay took to Twitter saying, removing this episode is weird, counterproductive, and stupid. It diminishes the effort to actually end racism. It's just so dumb. Podcaster Erica Williams-Simon added, first of all, they were in mud masks, not blackface. And second of all, in what world does, quote, stop killing us sound like, quote, please remove episodes of Golden Girls? I didn't see that on anyone's protest sign. So Hulu did not return NBC's request for comment when it comes to this, guys. But I think we can say a whole lot about this episode and what's happening right now. But I think the main thing that needs to be said is there are so many people who are out there and saying, hey, what about real change? Let's make sure that that happens. Let's end systematic racism. Let's end police brutality. I think that is the bigger thing that really needs to be talked about right now.
You couldn't have said it better myself. What gets me is I look back on that, and that show was wildly popular, very funny. Do any of you probably don't, because you're too young, there was a show called All in the Family. If Russ was here, I know he would remember it.
I remember it.
I mean, you can go back and look at just about any single episode of All in the Family and wonder how in the world did that get on television. Mm-hmm. And I know it's still on reruns somewhere. It's certainly either in syndication or available on all these streaming services. I just think it's going to be almost impossible to go back and start finding every single episode. There probably won't be a whole lot left, especially from that era. I mean, that show, All in the Family, was way over the line. 30 years ago, 40 years ago.
I think in some cases, though, that's going to be okay. I'm not too worried about that.
It has to be.
The nice thing is you kind of pick and choose what you want to see. And going forward, we have the opportunity to change the narrative and change the direction that the programming gets to go. And I think that's kind of the big push now.
Particularly moving forward, that's the key. Tiffany, thank you very much. We appreciate it. Here is what you are saying about this. And I don't think it's a big surprise. 95% of you, 96% of you are saying no. You do not agree with Hulu's decision to pull that episode of The Golden Girls. Now, there are some episodes that have been pulled that I can totally understand.
They had a lot of controversial stuff.
It's been one after another. Yeah, it's been many over the last couple of weeks. And some of it, again, I guess it's all in the eye of the beholder. Mm-hmm. Comedy, too, Betsy, I think we've seen this through the years. Comedy has a fine line. When you go to see a comedian, their whole business is to offend. So we have to ask ourselves, if we're going someplace to be entertained, they used to, not anymore, they used to have more of a license to do that kind of thing. I don't think they do so much anymore.
Yeah.
I don't.
Well, I mean, it's great that we're having the conversation. That's a big part of it.
Big step.
And we appreciate doing that, certainly. Well, let's turn the conversation now to something that everybody loves to talk about.
Beautiful weather.
The weather, because everybody is impacted by it. Matt, this weather has been fantastic, certainly. We are enjoying it. But Jay, you have a big word of the day.
First of all, did your neighbor just fire up his lawnmower?
What was that, Jay? I'm sorry, what?
I think your neighbor just turned on his lawnmower. Yeah. As soon as we threw it to you, it got very loud.
Oh, Jay, I think it's going to get a whole lot louder around here. They have to mow the backyard next, so we'll see what happens. Do you have a weather word today?
I do. It's a weather word that you should be able to fit in. The word is haze. And in this forecast, I'm sure you can find the word haze. I give it to you in honor of my granddaughter, Hayes, Hayes, who is now officially an Ohioan. Yay! Moved here Saturday with Mom and Dad, and I got to see her and hold her in my arms for the first time Saturday night. So haze is your weather word. See what you can do with it.
Oh, I bet you were in heaven this weekend for sure. That's something. That's a proud milestone for sure. So good for you. Good for Northeast Ohio too, because we've got beautiful weather setting up. We've talked about this dry stretch for days. Here comes the lawnmower, Jay. They're getting going. That's totally okay. I'll talk a little bit louder. Temperatures down to the 80s, down to the south. We do have some drier air moving in here. Over the next couple hours, this is going to continue to drift down to the south. Overall, we're dealing with manageable humidity, as I was talking about last night, and that will continue to be the case throughout the daytime today. All the thick humidity is now south and west of us where it will stay, but that's where a boundary exists. We've got clear skies here locally, but down to our south and west, Dayton, Ohio, back towards Indiana, that's where the thunderstorms are, and that's where they're going to continue to be. There's a stalled out frontal boundary down there. That is the dividing line between the dry air that we have and the real thick humidity down to the southwest of that. That boundary is going to stay right where it's at over the next couple days, and we'll be on the drier side of things. Your National Design Mart hour-by-hour forecast. I think they missed the spot over there. There you go. Now you got it. You can see we're clear tonight. Tomorrow morning, waking up, a beautiful start to your day. Bright sunshine. We'll be in the 60s for most of us tonight. By tomorrow afternoon, we'll bubble up a couple cumulus clouds, but overall, we will be dry. You can see the model there indicating maybe a lake breeze downpour. I really don't see that happening. And then Wednesday, more of the same with temperatures that'll respond nicely, making their way up into the 80s. So we've got some warm days ahead. The humidity is going to be, as I said, manageable this week. Notice how we stay in the greens though, so it is going to feel very summer-like, but all attention with this dry air turns to the rainfall. June rainfall, we're talking anywhere from ½ an inch to 1.5 inches below average right now. By the end of the week, you can see as we go day by day, all the rain staying down to our south and the west along that frontal boundary. By the end of the week, that will add another 1 inch to 1.5 inches of deficit if we don't get any rainfall, and that could spell some problems for area lawns and gardens, as we are certainly going to be needing that rain by the time we roll on into your 4th of July weekend. Universal Windows Direct 7-day forecast, climbing temperatures to near 90 degrees by Friday. A little bit of reprieve on Saturday by 1 degree or 2, and then we really start to heat things up next week. It does look like a couple of those days this weekend we will have some haze with that sunshine as we bring the sunshine and send it back to you. I think they're de-weeding now. This is just fantastic.
Hopefully it's a little quieter when they do the weeding. All right, thanks a lot, Matt. We'll check in with you again coming up in just a little bit, for sure. Well, coming up, we have a little bit more information on clicking in Cleveland. I think you're going to like it. And we have that Costco story, too. I can't wait to see what this dessert is.
I'm very curious about this, too.
We'll be right back.
Don't break Betsy's heart.
Yes, I am.
All right, everybody, it's time now to see what is clicking in Cleveland. Digital anchor Stephanie Haney joins us now. Hey, Steph, happy Monday.
Happy Monday to you, Betsy. You know, when we're talking about what school will look like in the fall, that also includes colleges and universities. Kent State University is coming up on the start of its phase 2 of its reopening plan, and we know a little bit more about what that's going to look like now. So phase 2 begins for them on Monday, July 6th, and their summer classes, which are already in session, will continue online. And most of the summer 3-session classes, which begin next Thursday, July 9th, will also be online, except for a few classes, which will be offered in person. Now, these are only as specifically approved by the university. Faculty and staff whose work is directly related to bringing students back will start to come back, but if they can work from home, that is still preferred. And student athletes and athletics staff will keep slowly coming back to in-person activities that have been deemed safe as they begin to evaluate the campus for the fall plan. Now, we expect the final fall course schedule to be released tomorrow on Tuesday. So it'll be interesting to see what that shows about online versus in-person classes. All right, now let's get to that Costco story that everyone is very interested in. So they are doing away with a popular party favorite, but they are also bringing back a popular staple. So let's start with the good news. Costco is bringing back free samples with a few changes. So it will just be pre-packaged snacks for now, and they'll be behind plexiglass shields with servers wearing masks and gloves. So here's the catch. Costco has stopped selling its half-sheet cakes everywhere. They are now instead focusing on 10-inch cakes. Costco said that they had to reduce some departments because of COVID-19, so the sheet cakes had to go, but we're not really supposed to be having those big in-person gatherings that would require sheet cakes, so hopefully those 10-inch ones will do the trick. And Betsy, you get your samples back, so you can snack around with the prepackaged stuff while you're at Costco.
Girlfriend, hashtag cupcakes, because the Costco cupcakes are just as good as the sheet cake. There you go, single serve, all fixed.
Perfect.
Thank you very much, Stephanie. We'll check back in with you a little bit for more on what's poppin'. All right, humans are heading back to the office and leaving their little furry friends behind, and that's causing anxiety and possible destructive behavior. How to ease your pets back into your normal routine. And the 4th of July is this weekend. If you're planning a small gathering, it's important to keep some safety precautions in mind. We have some easy things that you can do to keep your guests safe. That's coming up.
Hey, yeah, check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Brandon's microphone. This is what it sounds like to be Brandon.
And now, live from WKYC Studios, this is What's New.
Yes, it is. Happy Monday. Welcome back to What's New. Thank you so much for joining us, along with Betsy Kling. I'm Jay Crawford. We haven't done our air high five yet.
Hello.
We're socially distant. Clack.
Yep.
Good weekend?
Yeah, actually. I had one day, and it was a great day. I went fishing. We had a cookout with friends.
Wait, what'd you go fishing for?
At a friend's little pond in their backyard.
Very
Yeah,
nice.
the
Catch
girls
anything?
got to go fishing. It was a lot of fun. I caught, we catch little stuff.
Yeah.
I grew up fishing, so I love that.
Very good. I do too. It's a big fun. All right. Very good. Glad you enjoyed it. It's time for one of our favorite parts of the show right now. It's called Tell Me Something Good.
Yep. And Jay, every Sunday, Marcus Hill and his son MJ wake up early to cook a big breakfast for the 7-year-old to deliver to his mom in bed. I love this idea. Now, while keeping an eye on the food, the father-son duo, they make a little time to do some dancing.
And we worship you, we worship you, see you Lord of the harvest, and we worship you, we worship you, they say, come on.
They're doing some praising and cooking at the same time.
Little man's got some moves, Betsy.
This video. That is what I do when I cook. I'm so happy to see other people do it too.
How have we not seen video of this?
Well, it's not as good as that. That's why. Look at these two. They're having such a great time. I love this.
Oh my God, it is
so
fantastic.
Hill started recording the videos because his wife had no idea what's been taking place in the kitchen. This ritual started on Valentine's Day, and MJ wanted to keep it going. I love it, love it, love it.
And I hope they do it for many, many years to come. That's fantastic.
It is. That's a good
That is a great video. Thank you, Betsy. We all needed that. Our top talker, it's not going away, the coronavirus. 737 new coronavirus cases here in Ohio in the last 24-hour reporting window. And although that is a decline for the 4th straight day, our numbers of cases is still way above where it should be if you look at our 21-day average. I can tell you that most of the cases, or at least the biggest majority, are coming now from the Cincinnati and the Dayton area. So we'll keep our eye on that. But that's not the case in several states. I mentioned our numbers have gone down the last 4 days. Texas, Arizona, Florida, they're seeing huge spikes in their cases. And they now, Betsy, are taking a step back on some of those reopening plans. They may have been a little too aggressive.
That's right. In fact, nationwide, over the last 7 days, there's been a 41% increase in COVID cases. In some states, bars and other businesses are being closed again, and masks are required as communities try to control the spread. In South Florida, beaches are closing ahead of the 4th of July holiday.
Window here is very narrow. This is something we've known about the virus, that if you fall behind, as we have, then you've got to act quickly and aggressively.
Doctors say the key to beating the virus starts with personal responsibility. Wear masks, social distance, and wash your hands. So what's concerning is that this surge is coming just ahead of the 4th of July holiday, a time when people typically want to celebrate with friends and family.
Brandon Simmons talked with doctors today to find out how we can keep safe while we're spending time with friends and family this weekend. Hi, Brandon.
Hey, you're right about coronavirus not having gone away, but neither has our desire to have some of those parties that we all love to have on the 4th of July with family and friends. But as you prepare for that holiday cookout, you have to make sure you make some changes to keep everyone safe. Now, this involves how you plan to serve your food, what activities you decide to have, and even the way you set up the bathroom when people go inside. Now, many of the changes are the same as the ones we've been telling you about for months, and the bottom line is this will not be the same type of July 4th party that you're used to having. At least it shouldn't be.
We want everyone to be a little bit paranoid, but we don't want them to be miserable. On the 4th of July, want you to not go crazy, want you to interact with some of your closer family and friends. Want you to do it in no more than in groups of 10 or 12, as they have said. Want you to still keep 6 feet apart.
Now, and the one thing he did emphasize after that was that even if your party is outside, it's still very important that we continue to wear masks unless you can guarantee that you're going to stay at least 6 to 8 feet apart from everyone there. But I think it's safe to say, Jay and Betsy, when you're around loved ones, family, friends, it's very hard for you to keep your distance. So it's important that even outside, everyone keeps those masks on.
Yep, absolutely. And I got to ask, you mentioned the bathroom thing. That's a sticking point for us for trying to set up a birthday party at the end of July for Josie. We're kind of trying to figure that part out. What other changes can you make for a party or a gathering to make sure everybody is safe?
There's a long list of things you can do. I'm just going to give you a couple. I brought a bunch of stuff just to show off. So obviously, when you talk about the bathroom, get rid of hand towels. You have to switch over to paper towels in your bathroom. And also, you want to keep a bunch of Clorox wipes in there as well. So that way, people, as they go in and out, they can wipe down different surfaces as they go in and as they come out. That keeps it safe for everybody involved. Also, when you're talking about serving food, that was one of the things we touched on. You got to get rid of this kind of stuff. There's no more everybody sharing a spoon or everybody using the same utensils to grab things. Everybody has to use their own plastic utensils as well to grab hot dogs, whatever the case may be. That's just the safest way to do it. And the other thing we talk about too, we all know how you always want to take a big bag of chips, you pour it in a big bucket, right? Everybody just reaches their hand in or uses a scoop. You have to get rid of that too. The best thing you can do now, buy everything individually packaged so that everybody can just grab and go and we're not sharing all the same stuff.
Betsy, are you taking notes?
Brandon, literally, I'm holding up my pad of paper. My forecast is on one side. My notes for the party are on the other side. Thank you, because you've helped us out quite a bit.
Brandon, thanks. We appreciate it. Hey, look, if we're gonna get together, we want to make sure that we're as safe as we possibly can be.
Definitely.
That's how you do it. Brandon, great information. Russ Mitchell back in studio now to give us some more headlines, making news here at the bottom of the hour. Hi, Russ.
Hey, Jay, yet another marathon. Helps if I turn the microphone. How about that? Do you hear me better?
Man, that's smooth though, Russ. I got to tell you, that was smooth operating.
Figure out this business is something. Another marathon has been canceled because of the... Barely turned it off. It was on. Well, talk about smooth, Jay. You take that back.
No, you were on to begin with. Someone else did.
All right, anyway, let's start over again. Here's what is happening this afternoon. Another marathon has been canceled because of the coronavirus pandemic. This time it's the Nationwide Children's Hospital Columbus Marathon and Half Marathon. That event was set for October 18th. Anyone who registered for any of the races will get their money back. The Supreme Court has refused to block the execution of 4 federal inmates who were scheduled to be put to death in July and August. All 4 were convicted of killing children. Those inmates have asked a federal judge to impose a new delay over other legal issues. And some big football news to tell you about. Charlotte Panthers quarterback Cam Newton is going to the New England Patriots. It is said to be a 1-year deal worth up to $7.5 million with incentives. Now, Jay, that other guy is gone from New England. So
yeah.
What's his Cam's job? Tom something?
Yeah.
Is this Cam's job to lose?
I absolutely believe it is. I think what's going on here is Belichick just was not comfortable with the quarterbacks that he had there. And he realized that if he doesn't bring in a big-name guy that can play big-time offense, that there was going to be a drop. So I'm fascinated to see what Cam, who is a former MVP, can do in the place of Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Fascinating storylines everywhere you look in the NFL.
And I'm sure Cam would not forget to turn his mic on if he were here as well. It's another thing he's got going for him.
See, it was on to begin with, though, right?
Yeah.
See? You have figured this out.
Oh, well. We'll
Russ,
see.
We'll see at 6.
See ya.
Mic on.
Right.
By the way, guys, the football guy who left New England,
yeah,
his name is Giselle's husband. That one was easy. All right, Faith Hill is making moves in her home state of Mississippi. Her push to change the stance on the state flag, plus Beyonce, Queen Bee, released a preview of a new project she's been working on. Here's Stephanie Haney with your pop break.
Our girl Queen Bee had a pretty major weekend after being introduced by former First Lady Michelle Obama for winning the BET Humanitarian of the Year award and watching her daughter become the youngest person to ever win a BET award. Beyonce released a first look at a secret project she's been working on with Disney called Black is King. The visual album celebrates Black history, culture, traditions, and the beauty of African customs. The project launches on Disney Plus on July 31st. A Mississippi girl may not change her ways, but she can do her part to call for major change in the state. Country singer Faith Hill tweeted last week that Mississippi's Congress needed to vote to remove the Confederate flag from the state's flag, saying that she's proud to be from Mississippi and her experiences growing up, but that it's time for the world to meet the Mississippi of today and not the Mississippi of 1894. Her message might have just done the trick because on Sunday, the legislature passed a bill to remove the Confederate symbol and design a new state flag. And the Republican governor already said he'd sign it into law. And that's how it's done. And speaking of powerhouse ladies in country, Kelsey Ballerini is calling out fellow performer Chase Rice for his indoor concert in Tennessee on Sunday night, without masks and without a lot of distancing. Rice posted a video on his Instagram story of a packed crowd at the show with the caption, "We back." Ballerini saw it and shared it, saying, "Imagine being selfish enough to put thousands of people's lives at risk, not to mention the potential ripple effect, and play a normal country concert right now." Adding, "We all want and need to tour. We just care about our fans and their families enough to wait." You tell him, girl.
Concert organizers said that they had enough space there for people to keep their distance, but they couldn't enforce it. Now, other concerts have taken place. We've seen them with tables where people were required to sit and keep that distance. We've also seen drive-in style concerts. So it is possible, but without a state order, it is up to these venues to decide what is required versus recommended, Jay and Betsy, and that is a tough call and a very tense topic, along with who's going to enforce these things.
Definitely is. I got to tell you, there's nothing more country than a drive-in concert. Hi. I mean, come on.
Yeah, you're absolutely
Pretty
right.
good.
You rarely see that country music beef between performers, but there it is. It's on.
Thanks, Steph.
You do. She felt very strongly about it.
Yeah, and she should. Okay, 4th of July weekend. It is this weekend, and you can't celebrate without a great dessert. Betsy, we've got one. Loretta Paganini is in the kitchen. You know what that means. She's whipping up a new option that is also incredibly patriotic. Looks good, tastes great.
Right? Now we just need the weather to go with it. Matt, how's that weather looking?
Hi there, Betsy. Happy Monday to you, and happy Monday, everybody. The weather doesn't get much better than this across Northeast Ohio, but does this last? We'll take that forecast through your 4th of July holiday, believe it or not, coming up.
Very funny.
All right, everybody knows that Saturday is the 4th of July. We could all use some new dessert ideas to help celebrate the day, right?
Yeah, we can. I chatted with Chef Loretta Paganini, who shows us how to make a triple berry crumble. You're going to want this.
When the weather is hot outside, the best place to go is into the kitchen. And what better way to make a scrumptious dessert that is so quick and easy to make. Northeast Ohio has great berries now in season. They're beautiful. 4th of July color, strawberry, raspberry, blueberry, and even blackberry. And what I do is a great crumble and very simple and easy to make. I put them in a bowl and give them a quick shake like that. And then to make everybody happy, you get together. A little alcohol is my secret. So here I have triple sec. And then we're going to put a little cinnamon just to bring those berry up a notch. And then if your berry are very sour, put maybe a 1/4 cup of sugar. Mine are as sweet as they can be. And then to thicken everything, cornstarch. Here we go. Toss everything together really well. Okay. And then here I have little individual bowl, but you can certainly do a big one that you can share with the entire family. But I like the individual one because I don't like to share my dessert. I love sweets. And then what we need to do is make the topping. I'm going to add the pecan that I have chopped and toast, some brown sugar, mix everything up like that, and then flour and some oatmeal. There we go. Mix everything so you have a nice pasty mixture. And then this wonderful mixture gets placed right on top of your berry. Then you put it in the oven at 350 degrees for about 30, 40 minutes until you see your berry all bubbling up. And I usually like to serve this with a little bit of a sprinkle of powdered sugar and, of course, my favorite ice cream, and that would be Italian gelato. Okay? Easy enough for you, Jay?
Loretta, I think that's so easy, even I could do it. I love the patriotic colors. It looks fantastic. Thank you very much, Loretta. That looks like a terrific dessert. If you want to find out how to make that, we've got all the ingredients, and the entire recipe is up on our website at WKYC.com. Loretta, thank you very much. We'll see you next week.
My pleasure. Happy 4th.
Now, wait. It's so easy you could do it, but you didn't do it. I had my mouth all fixed. I thought we were going to have some dessert right here.
I wish.
Oh.
Yeah, I wish. Look, I said it's so easy I could do it, but that doesn't mean that I will.
You didn't follow through.
No. Matt, are they still mowing at your house?
No, they're done. I know you guys didn't hear any one bit of that forecast that I gave the first time, so we'll try it again. Thank goodness I'm not allergic to grass pollen, because actually I am. But it looks great over there. It really does look nice. They had a tight trim. Tight trim. So, you guys have a weather word again or anything?
Yeah, mower.
No doubt.
Sure. You got it. I'll just whip it right into the forecast here for sure. Well, nice to be with everyone today. I'm glad you can hear me now. We took care of the neighbor's yard. I got to take care of mine later tonight. And most of us, I think, are going to turn from the mowing to the watering over the next week, as we are really going to turn dry around here with a multi-day stretch of dry weather. It all begins today. You can see we've got sunshine all across Northeast Ohio. There are thunderstorms. They're downstate. That's where they're going to stay all week. You can see Indiana, even areas near Chicago picking up the storms. That's where a frontal boundary lies, and that front is stationary. Really, you don't get very potent fronts this time of year. That's really the dividing line between some drier air and some real thick humidity out in the plain states. You can see that evident by our dew points. That really thick, humid air is really southwest of us. We're humid, but it's going to be manageably humid pretty much all week long. Your National Design Mart Hour by Hour forecast keeps us dry tonight. A beautiful evening to get on out. Please treasure these days, because I remember many forecasts back in January and February where we wished for this. Tomorrow morning, waking up, we're in the 60s, clear skies. A couple clouds tomorrow bubbling up along a lake breeze boundary. I don't think they'll produce any rain. We should be dry and temperatures making their way to the mid-80s, even upper 80s inland. More the same on Wednesday, pretty much a carbon copy of what you can expect tomorrow. That number down at the bottom, that's a deficit in rainfall since June. That's really when we went dry around here and all across the Ohio Valley. This is a drought monitor that's released on Thursday, so we'll get another update on this Thursday. But you see the trend. We're starting to dry things out across the area. And look at this, not a raindrop in sight with your Universal Windows Direct 7-day forecast. In fact, the rising temperatures as we make our way to 90 degrees by Friday aren't going to help. That increases that evaporative process, and it does look like we're going to be dry for fireworks. That's good, but we'll definitely be watering those area lawns. So, Emmy, you like to use the hose, right, on the grass?
Yeah.
Yeah, you could do that every day this week. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Nope.
I just do it all the time.
You do it all the time. Our water bill's ridiculous. Okay, all right. Well, we got to send it back to them, and we'll keep working on this next picture.
I made this one.
You did. That's beautiful. Sweetheart, that is so nice. Very nice.
Absolutely adorable.
I made Buddha.
All right.
Treasure those days,
I want
Matt.
to say
Treasure them.
oh, I am, Jay. I am.
As many of us are heading back to the office, our furry friends are going through something called separation anxiety. It's horrible for them, Betsy. It's just horrible. We're going to tell you how you can better manage it. Was he being sarcastic?
No.
No, I didn't.
Matt. Well, pets certainly got a bonus out of this time that we have been in. They got very comfortable and used to having their humans around, working from home for a few months. But now, many people are beginning to head back to work, and experts are worried about our little four-legged friends having anxiety. The American Veterinary Medical Association suggests easing your pet into a routine. They say feed and walk the dog like you would when you return to the office, and then leave for short periods of time on a daily basis.
Gradually extend the time that you're gone. So, and then give them a small treat as you walk out the door, because that kind of conditions your pet to finding it rewarding when you leave.
So in other words, pretend you're going to work. It's also important to leave them toys to keep them distracted while you're away. If your dog is destroying things or having accidents, those are signs that they are struggling. Talk to your vet about ways to get back on track in a stress-free way.
That's a real thing.
Yep.
It really is. I've seen it. All right, we're going to tell you all you need to know about this really cool sea turtle when we come back.
Yes, hello. Although COVID-19 hospitalizations have increased, Ross, the governor said today that there are no capacity.
All right, time to wrap it up. We do it with our Worth the Watch. We do it every day. This past week, Myrtle the Sea Turtle, I love the name, was released back into the water. She was accidentally caught by shrimpers. I hate these stories. Myrtle spent more than a month getting some TLC and rehab. Then, Betsy, as soon as rescuers released her on the beach, she knew exactly what to do. Look at her.
She's like, see ya.
Yeah, she is. She's not moving like a turtle.
Thanks for the drinks. I'm out.
That is beautiful. She knew exactly where she needed to be. She got there in a hurry, and she is back safely into the Florida waters. That's a cool story.
That is. That's a good one.
Glad to see it. We are out of time. Thank you so much for watching What's New. We invite you to join us tomorrow at 5.
This hour just always seems to fly by.